heated debate as two candidates square off for a spot on the Board of Selectmen. ELCAT has the highlights of the public forum as we look ahead to the April 8th election.
The planning board takes up the issue of medical marijuana and town regulations should a dispensary center apply for a license to operate in East Longmeadow.
The day before April Fools, and this is no joke, snow blankets Western Mass, snarling traffic and creating headaches on the roads.
And a new business is under construction. East Longmeadow says hello to a new premium frozen yogurt shop gearing up to open before summer.
Those stories just ahead on ELCAT News Week in Review.
Good evening, I'm Yasmina Gibi.
And I'm Alexi Cohan. We begin tonight with a candidates' public forum.
Two candidates faced off for one spot open on the Board of Selectmen.
The debate between Pete Punderson and William Gorman quickly became heated as both sides launched allegations against the other.
On Thursday, March 27th, the debate was held for Selectmen candidates Pete Punderson and William Gorman. The debate was open to the public and a little under 50 people were present. ELCAT's own director Don Mackey moderated the debate, and Elizabeth Roman, reporter at The Republican and MassLive.com, was a panelist. The two asked a series of questions regarding taxes, the form of town government, and possible changes or problems that the candidates wanted to discuss.
I didn't ask lawyers or people or anything. I ran because I'm concerned about the town and where it's going, and I'm concerned about how this selectman job is just a fiasco with the last few people we've had here.
Folks, right now I am engaged very heavily in the town business. I am very aware of a lot of the issues that are coming across the different committees' desks. I'm ready to sit down right now and serve the town, the residents, the families, the children, and the employees of the great town of East Longmeadow.
A prominent question outlined in the debate was how to efficiently spend tax money and what the selectmen would do to extract as much value as possible from the town's revenue.
There are places to save money. You can save money by reducing our expenses, our overhead, such as fuel costs, lighting costs, insurance costs. There's ways to do that. But be assured that what's going on behind the doors of that room right there during the Appropriation Committee meetings pretty much is all that we can do at this point in time. There just isn't a lot of money.
We got to stop spending. We're spending more money right now than we're bringing in. And it's all because these people, these people in charge of these things don't adhere to what they're supposed to be adhering to. And I think we're going to be a little tougher on these different department heads and make them do what they're supposed to do.
Involvement in the budget-making process also proved to be an important topic for both Punderson and Gorman.
I think that every member of the Board of Selectmen should be attending the meetings. I think they should be attending the DPW meetings. I think they should be attending all the meetings so that when one department makes a move here, you know if it has a positive, a negative, or no reaction on some other part of the budgetary structure or governmental structure of the town of East Longmeadow. I accept that. I will accept requests to go to any meetings.
I got to say, a selectman should be attending these meetings, and there should be a little more interaction between the departments, which there is not right now. Understand something that they spend their money the way they see fit. They take from one entity and put it in another entity, and nobody knows what's going on with them. That's why I'm saying we need a different form of government to oversee everybody, and like a mayor would know what was going on.
A change in the form of town government acted as a spark between the candidates, each with their own ideas for the future.
I am for a town manager. I don't know if you can do that along with the town meeting form of government. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on it. But I am 100% in favor of a town manager, a permanent person to look after all of us and make sure that all of us are getting a fair shake and to look after the employees.
I'm for a mayor myself. We gotta do something different with this town because, and I understand that it's going to take 3 years to change the form of government. So if we started right now, it's going to take 3 years to do it. It ain't going to happen overnight.
The debate closed after 1 hour and 44 minutes of discussion. The election for town selectmen will be Tuesday, April 8th.
Another controversial subject in town, the possibility of medical marijuana distribution centers opening up shop in East Long Meadow.
You may recall last fall, state voters overwhelmingly approved question 3 on the November 6th ballot, allowing the existence of state-regulated medical marijuana distribution centers. As mandated by the state, no city or town can ban such facilities. However, East Long Meadow voters approved a temporary moratorium on dispensaries to allow the town more time to prepare new zoning regulations. That moratorium is up in June, so the planning board has been busy formulating those new regulations. And during the March 25th meeting, the board approved the wording of the regulations, which include a 500-foot buffer zone between such an establishment and any school, church, park, playground, athletic field, or youth center.
I agree with the 500 feet. I think that a location can be found that can be done with that 500-foot buffer zone. And assuming that the Attorney General goes with it, other towns have gone 500 feet. I think it's a reasonable requirement.
Kingston also said the board has no other choice than to provide such zoning regulations.
And I'd just like to, for the record, state that the reason we're doing this is because we're not allowed to ban them, and therefore we need to regulate them if we're going to have any control over should someone wish to cite it in town. So this is something that, it's not saying that we're encouraging people to cite here, but we're not allowed to ban, and therefore we need to regulate.
Changes in the bylaws will go before voters during the upcoming Maytown meeting. From there, it goes to the Attorney General's office for approval. One subject the entire town is still talking about is the snow and sleet Mother Nature has hit us with on Monday.
I can't believe it's April and we're still getting snow.
I know, but weather's going to warm up this week. We'll be in the low 50s all week, and then, all the snow will melt and we'll just be super wet and soggy.
Thank goodness spring is on the way. It started overnight Sunday into Monday, and by Monday mid-morning, this is what East Long Meadow looked like. Snow covered everything, even some spring crocus and daffodils that popped their heads up a bit early. The DPW says this surprise storm was more of a nuisance. Town plow trucks and salters could be seen hitting the roads in the wee hours and into much of the day to get things cleaned up. But as you know, the sun didn't keep the snow around too long. Warmer temperatures are making quick work of most of the snow. Forecasters predict much smoother sailing and more seasonable temperatures from here on out. At least that's what they're predicting. This spring not only brings with it flowers and sunshine, but also a new standardized test for some East Long Meadow students.
The new test is called PARCC, that's PARCC, or Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College Careers. This spring, Massachusetts and 35 other states, including the District of Columbia, are putting the newest standardized test to the test. It's sponsored by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education and could eventually replace the 20-year-old MCAS test.
So the PARCC assessment, many parents have at least heard of it this year. I know a lot of information has been sent home. And this year it's in a trial basis. And what the state did was basically ask, but they really told each school district that they would, each district would have a number of classrooms participate in the PARCC instead of the MCAS exam this year, and basically do that on a trial basis to just gather data and to see how effective the test is and see what the results are, and probably compare them to MCAS in the past. The idea or the thought is that the PARCC will take the place of the MCAS. As we move towards more common core standards and more uniformity across the country, the PARCC tries to do that as well.
Much of the nation has adopted a newer curriculum framework known as the Common Core State Standards. So, authorities say the push is on to develop a new assessment test that is more universal and not state-specific. According to the state, more than 80,000 students will take a PARCC field test in English Language Arts or mathematics. Once again, East Long Meadow School Committee Chair Greg Thompson weighs in.
At this point, it's early to know the difference between PARCC and MCAS and what value the district will get out of the PARCC. I don't think we would even know until we really put it into place and then really had it for a couple of years. The reality of it, again, is as soon as you get comfortable with something in education, it seems to change, and I'm learning that now in my 6th year on the school committee. But we have to deal with what we get from the state and the federal government. It's the reality of it. And we have a great leadership team here. The administration, takes what they can get and runs with it. And the teachers are more than willing to do their best to accommodate new ideas and new ways of doing things. And I think we rely heavily on our people to get us through these changes and help our students, make those transitions.
Results of the PARCC test will not be part of the state's evaluation of a school's performance.
In other news tonight, you may have noticed a few changes in town when it comes to businesses that are out and new businesses moving in.
Gone is the K. Gray Boutique, which has moved to Longmeadow from its spot in Center Square.
The new tenant is a company called Sweet Frog Premium Frozen Yogurt. It's a franchise based in Richmond, Virginia. Andy Rizzo, co-owner of the new franchise, showed ELCAT around as the build-out takes place.
So basically when you walk in, you're going to be coming up, you grab your cup, you're going to have your yogurt machines right here in front of you, where there will be 8 yogurt machines, 2 flavors in each, but there's also in the middle, you can mix both flavors, so really 24 flavors.
Rizzo has been in the restaurant business since he was 16. He currently owns a restaurant called Salute in downtown Hartford. He says he and his partners were looking for a new venture and came across what they thought was a perfect fit and bought into the Sweet Frog franchise.
We wanted to expand, but we wanted to expand in a different way. Not so much open another restaurant, identical restaurant where it's, full-scale service and bar and restaurant. We wanted to do something different.
He says the hunt then began for the perfect spot when friends and the franchise itself pointed to East Longmeadow. Rizzo and his partners signed the lease back in November. He says from an economic, business, and community perspective, it's a great fit.
You get a big sense of community up here when you're here. The first time I was up here, just walking around, it seems everyone kind of knows everyone, and and there's people walking. It's very active, and I checked the spot out, and I looked a little bit more into East Longmeadow, and we loved the spot. We all came up here and we said, you know what, we like this.
The Sweet Frog brand has been around since 2009, mostly down south, but is quickly expanding. Critics are leery about another dessert shop opening, but Rizzo says the Sweet Frog product will speak for itself. That, combined with the company's community-first philosophy.
Fits all the criteria of what Sweet Frog is about, and what they want to teach and what they want to bring to wherever they are. They're not just in it for business. They are, like I said, the community aspect of how they get people involved, and whether it's the East Longmeadow High varsity girls basketball team, or it's sponsoring, a soccer team, a summer league. They are just so big in the community, and myself and my partners at our restaurant and in Hartford really we preach that, and we really believe in that. There will be bench seating along there with some tables and a table over here. All of the glass will stay intact, so it'll be nice and open.
Rizzo says Sweet Frog will employ 10 to 12 staff at first. He hopes to be open by the end of May. An update now on a story we brought to you last week on ELCAT News about 8-year-old East Longmeadow resident Julia Voucher.
Julia was a finalist in a national Jif peanut butter contest.
Ironically, her older sister Maria, also an ELCAT reporter, was in the same contest when she was 11 and made it to the top 5.
Maria has this update on her sister Julia and the results of Jif's most creative sandwich competition.
My sister Julia made it to the top 5 in Jif's most creative peanut butter sandwich competition. That earned her a trip to New York City along with the other finalists, where they were scheduled to go on Fox and Friends morning show. Unfortunately, breaking news canceled their appearance. But Julia, a 3rd grader at Mountain View Elementary School, said it was a great experience. She won $2,500 and discovered a passion of cooking.
With my money, I am going to save it for college because I want to be a chef when I grow up, so I'm going to save it for culinary school.
This is the recipe that helped her get into the top 5. Roll out your bread, spread the Jif peanut butter, add a layer of apricot preserves, add some apple slices, any variety. Then roll it all up and cover it with an egg, milk, and vanilla mixture. Then fry it in a pan until warm, and voila, Julia's peanutty French toast roll-up. Julia says she had a great time and made a lot of new friends.
I met some new friends, and it was really fun to go around and do different things for Jif.
She also says she would recommend the contest to anyone who loves to be creative in the kitchen.
I would recommend this contest to other kids because it's really fun. I got different kinds of Jif products, and I got this apron with this spatula with that you could have Jif peanut butter on, and Smuckers jam on.
For ELCAT News, I'm Maria Voucher.
ELCAT Sports takes a break this week as we transition from winter to spring.
So be sure to tune in next week as we kick off the Spartan spring season.
For now, that'll do it for us. Thank you for watching. I'm Alexi Cohan.
I'm Yasmina Gibi, and this is ELCAT News.